There's a tendency for us to kind of let the pendulum swing, right? We're either all focused on these are the things I want and attracting things in my life and focusing our attention always on the positive and neglecting or trying to suppress the resistance and stuff that comes up about it. I've also seen the other side where the pendulum swings back this way, that we're so absorbed in getting in doing the inner work. We're really committed to that and to improving and really digging up the traumas and healing them, all that, that we forget the reason we do that is for the vibrant, beautiful life that we're all seeking. That it is a real balance and flow between the two. Hey everybody, GP here, and this is the page that tells you all about the upcoming course workshop that we're doing, the final one in a series of 3, all of which are available to you. If you're just getting in now because you're way out there out east, you'll have availability to all to all of the workshops. You know, when we started this up, it was just going to be the healing of shame, and I was going to just do it 3 times. But that's the beautiful thing about doing workshops and working with people, is that what the people need, those of you who come to the class, what you really need are what tells me what to make the class about. And I noticed in the first one, the healing of shame, a trend that I've noticed probably for the last 5-10 years, that I've done my best to be a remedy for. And that is this. There's a tendency for us to kind of let the pendulum swing, right? We're either all focused on these are the things I want and attracting things in my life and focusing our attention always on the positive and neglecting or trying to suppress the resistance and stuff that comes up about it, or try to just ignore it, like it's not important, it's eventually going to go away. The same thing is true in certain spiritual practices where it's all about attaining enlightenment. There's all this great focus on the true self and ignoring of all the human stuff that comes up. I've also seen the other side where the pendulum swings back this way, that we're so absorbed in getting in doing the inner work. We're really committed to that and to improving and really digging up the traumas and healing them, all that, that we forget the reason we do that is for the vibrant, beautiful life that we're all seeking. That it is a real balance and flow between the two. And without that, it's really easy to get stuck on one side or the other. So we ended up doing the healing of shame is the first one. The second one became liberating desires, because it is the next step after. When you get some freedom from the traumatic material that's kept us so squashed, we have to open up our acceptance of our human nature, including our loves and our preferences and our differences, all of our desires, because it's desire that makes life happen. It's the total motivation of life. And many of us we're very ashamed of our desires, and beginning to handle that shame, to release those traumas, opens up the door for allowing us to feel that energy of pure desire, of the desires that are bigger than we thought. They actually get liberated and get bigger, our big dreams, our big aspirations. And then finally, we find as that happening, we run into our ideas or concepts, assumptions about limits, which are wrapped up in the way we see ourselves. So the last of the 3 workshops we've titled From Limited to Liberated. Same theme of liberation, but now we're going to look directly at the things that have limited our vision. The desires arise, but you find are they really big enough? Is this really what I want? Or are they being hemmed in by beliefs and assumptions and cultural mores and things like that? Can you own a big desire? Can you really just own the big desire? Can you let yourself feel the magnitude of the desire, even if you don't know how it's going to happen? You know how it could possibly happen. You don't know whether or not are you capable of it, right? I mean, all of these things get in the way of us just giving life to what's already there. which is a big dream, a big desire. It all plays together. And ultimately, it becomes a spiritual mission, a spiritual play, because, well, everything is spiritual, but it all comes wrapped up in this sense of who I am. It is the sense of identity that reinforces the sense of limitations. If we can step outside of that and realize that who you think you are isn't who you are, that you are orders of magnitude bigger, then suddenly the limitations simply begin to fall away, because you recognize they're only learned behaviors. They're not the reality of your being. So anyway, I hope you'll join me in this, the last of three, especially if you're out east, from India to New Zealand and everything in between. We have Pakistan, which isn't exactly in between, but Thailand, Japan, Indonesia, the Philippines, and of course Australia and New Zealand. There are people who are regularly downloading my stuff and reading the emails that simply can't make one of my workshops that are at the time I normally give them, which is like 10 o'clock here, so that works for Europe. Well, Europe, I'm having to leave you out of it this time. North America is still good. It's on a Friday night, but in the East, it's going to be Saturday morning. So please join me. I can't wait to see you there. And the link is down below. So I will see you then. Namaste.